Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Today I have a quick video on how I prepare for the winter because it feels very winter-like today. It is the 1st of October and it's just about 6 in the morning. I had a pretty good night's sleep. I went for my walk yesterday to the train yard. It's the third day in a row I walked. Felt really good until I got home, and then the arthritis pain kind of started in the ankle and the knee and the hip. And today I'm wearing a pair of sweatpants. During the winter I wear sweatpants around the house. I don't go out in public with them. But it got fairly chilly last night. In fact, it's our coldest night so far, our coldest overnight. We got 41 degrees outside. It got down to 64 and a half. And I usually wait as long as I possibly can every winter before I start using the heat, because the heat's always been very expensive in this house. Well, that's not true now. Well, hopefully it's not true, because I have that nice unit up there that's going to provide me with heat this winter. And I now have a heat pump. I did not have a heat pump before. When I moved into this house in 2005, in August, it was very, very hot. And the air conditioning system didn't work. They had to come out and recharge it or something, do something to it. And so I didn't really get to use the air conditioner much in September. And then it just suddenly got cold. I mean, the temperature just took a dramatic drop into the freezing temperatures. So I turned on the heating system, which you see the intake up there, and then it's got all the little register vents, 3 in this room. Each bedroom has one, and the bathroom has one. And I had that heat cranked up to like 72 degrees, and the system just ran all the time. I didn't worry about it because I have a heat pump out there. The old brown GE box that I've shown in a few videos. I didn't ask any questions like I should have. I just assumed that was a heat pump. That was not a heat pump. It was some sort of a evaporator thing for air conditioning. It only came on when you use the air conditioning, and that sucks the heat out of the house is what it did. But it was not a heat pump. And my power bill went from about $35 a month to suddenly $446 or $8. It was almost $500, getting close to $500. And I thought, what in the world just happened? And that was just for 1 month. So I'm calling the owner of the house. I said, man, there's something wrong with this heating system. And he says, oh no, there's no heat pump there. You got to be really careful with that heat. Don't use it in the bedrooms. Close the vents in the bedroom and just leave it at like 60 or so degrees. I'm like, what? And anyway, I was stuck. I was kind of mad about it, but I didn't ask the questions. That was the whole thing. I should have asked about that before I signed the contract for the house. So anyway, lesson learned. From then on, I literally did that. I closed the vents in the bedrooms and the bathroom, and I just would heat out here, and I'd set it at 60 degrees. And if you turn the dial all the way down to 55, then it'll just automatically come on. And I think I actually did that. So I learned to live in an ice cold house because I couldn't even pay that $440 in one lump sum. I had to stretch it out, and I was really mad. So I learned to live in a cold house. I grew up in a cold house. We only had wood heat, and oftentimes the wood stove would go out, or we would be gone for the evening and come home and the house would be like 50 degrees. So we learned to live with that. And so I kind of thought, well, let's just go back to the way it was. I like lots of blankets on my bed anyway. And so that's So that's what I have been doing since 2005. And now that I have an actual updated system, I still don't know what it's going to cost, and I don't want to get back into that situation again. I'm sure it's going to be cheaper, but I'm going to start out slow. So I've closed all the registers, and I think I mentioned that already. I closed them all. They're sealed up so that what heat is in here won't go escaping up in there. And I'm sure it would be just a tiny little amount. I took the filter out of this because it was filthy and threw it away. And this system, of course, doesn't work anymore, but there's a huge hole where that goes into the furnace up there. So I have a brand new filter. It's the last one. So I'm going to just stick that filter in there with the plastic on it and just leave it up there. That way, whatever heat, gets up in here, whatever heat is in here won't go escaping up in there. And again, it's going to be just a tiny little amount of heat that would be losing. So we're going to leave the towels underneath the bedroom doors in here. This will have no heating or air conditioning whatsoever. And I open up the blinds as it gets daylight, and then I get the morning sun in here, and it helps to keep it warmed up. But of course, during the summer, I wouldn't do that. I'd want it cool. So that register is cold. It's cold. That register is closed. And the temperature gauge here says it's right at 60 degrees. I can live with 60 degrees, but I can't live with it much farther below that. So, getting on to talking about how I'm going to set it. The bathroom is not going to have heat either, and that register is closed. But what I do have is this wonderful heat lamp. This thing will warm this small bedroom up. That heat lamp will warm up this small bathroom very, very fast. And of course, I have a hot lamp there. So this is how I'll heat this up. During the winter, I'll keep the door closed and to kind of keep the heat in here a little bit more. And so I'll be able to heat it up really quickly. And I could even bring in a little heater like this. In fact, that's the reason why I bought that heater years ago, was to run it in the bathroom to help warm it up in there. So, yep, that will work. Here in my bedroom, that register is closed. And of course, we got the heating and air conditioning unit over there. I will use the air conditioning back here in the bedroom, but I don't really plan to have that on for heat. I have to set that for heat. Otherwise, you can't have one unit set for air conditioning and one for heat. So they have to both be set on heat. But I don't plan to warm it up in here because I like to sleep cold. I've got an electric blanket that'll fit on the bed there, and I'll be more than happy sleeping in here under a ton of blankets. I really like doing that. So I don't plan to use this heat in here. Maybe at some point I might run it or something. But we'll keep this bedroom door closed too. And that way, just this area here will be getting heated. So the next thing to do will be just wait for the temperature to get down even farther, and then I need to get the instruction book out and read it. And we'll set this unit on heat. It's now on air conditioning, but it's not running. And we'll set that at 59 degrees once it gets down even colder. And it might take a while for that to happen. So again, yeah, it's now 40 outside and 64. So we'll experiment with that as it gets down, but I'm really pretty happy and comfortable with the temperature where it is now. So I've got quite a few lights going. I left all these lights on all night last night. I have the tiny little 4-watt bulbs. All the bulbs I have now are these LEDs, and that thing is really hot. See, that bulb, even though it only puts out 4 watts, it gets pretty hot. So all these bulbs are kind of adding a little bit of heat. And I, of course, have my internet modem on, and it actually puts out a fair amount of heat. So in closing, I'll tell a little bit of a story. Back in 1994, on October 5th, I had broken up with my ex, but we got back together half a dozen times or more, even though we knew it wasn't going to work out. And on October 5th of 94, I believe it was, it might have been 95, I don't remember. But on October 5th, I was working as a swing shift line cook, and I think she had called me down there right before my shift was over at 11 o'clock. And of course, I knew what she wanted. She asked me if I would come over and spend some time with her. Well, I knew exactly what that was going to mean, and so I was all for it, despite everything that was going on. So I drove over there from either work or from home, I don't remember which, and parked my car. She was in a trailer park in a 32-foot travel trailer, a real junker, but it was home for her. And I parked my car and got out and quickly rushed up to the door, and there was a little wooden type porch type thing, but it had froze, and there had been some water on the porch that I didn't see. And I stepped on that, and man, I just went over backwards like no other, and fell down hard, and I've never forgot that. And took quite a spill, and that was October 5th, and it was freezing then. So it could happen again. It'll usually we start getting some freezing weather by sometime in October and fall starting and all the rest. So this video is really long, and I'm sorry about that. I said I was going to do a quick video. Not so quick, but that's how I'm going to prepare for the winter. Should be a good winter. Hopefully that power bill won't get too high. Nowadays, with not using anything except lights and hot water and whatnot, my power bill's around $80 a month. But when I first moved in here, it was around $30 to $35 for that same exact thing. So power, just like everything else, going up. Everything's going up. So hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment down below if you're in a kind of a situation like this where you need to not use your heat too much to not have a horrible power bill, energy bill. And comment down below. Let me know what's going on. Share your story. So please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.